let me just say this right now, that if you work in the medical field and you think Donald Trump took a title away from you, you are far too fucking stupid to work in the medical field. Taking the professional degree away doesn't change the job. It doesn't change your title. Like nurse practitioners no longer being a professional degree, that doesn't affect anything about nurse practitioners. No, it only affects the amount of money that schools can charge, because it affects the amount of loan you can give to attain that degree. It is a process by which to force the schools to lower their prices and allow more people in, more people at an affordable rate. This is how you make college more affordable. This is how you make sure that nurse practitioners don't have to spend the next 10 years after they get their degree paying off fucking loans. It doesn't take away anything from the actual nurse practitioner. Like it doesn't even take away, like you're gonna get more nurse practitioners with this. More people are gonna be able to afford to go to the school. The schools are going to charge less, because if they wanna maintain their numbers, if they wanna maintain the amount of people that are at the school, if they wanna maintain the income level, they are going to have to lower their prices to the amount of loan that you are able to give out. You guys are taking something where Donald Trump is making it so you're gonna have more access, more nurses, more people, and you're acting like it's the fucking opposite. You will never be happy with anything Donald Trump does, even when he's fucking helping you. You guys are the fucking scorpion. Donald Trump's the frog. Stop fucking stinging him.
Yo, what's good, y'all? It's Oouchie, and welcome back to the Oouchie Friends Podcast. Today, I want to break down something you see every day, but nobody really explains it in plain English. Why companies charge more when the government is the one paying, and how that ties into healthcare, college, and what Trump is trying to do with this system. We're talking the hood versus the suburbs, EBT, hospitals, student loans, and yeah, even Obamacare and this new drama with nursing degrees and student loans. Before we jump in, do me a favor, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss when we break down how this system really works. Alright, let's talk about it. Let's start with something everybody in the hood already feels. You ever go to the corner store or that little grocery in the neighborhood and realize everything costs more than it does in the suburbs? Same milk, same egg, same cereal, but in the hood it's like $5 for what's $3 somewhere else. $1.79 for a juice that's $1 in a nicer area. Why is that? In a lot of hoods, most people are using EBT, food stamps. That means the money is coming from the government. It's loaded on a card, not pulled out of your cash stash. And the store knows you're probably not driving 20 minutes to compare prices. So what does that store think? You're not really shopping based on price. You're shopping based on location and that EBT card. So I can quietly charge a little more and you'll still pay. You're not feeling the money leave your hand in the same way, because it's government money on a plastic card. And anytime the business knows you aren't feeling the pain directly, they start seeing how high they can set that price. Now go to the suburb. More people are paying cash/debit. They have cars. They can hit 3 to 4 different stores. Over there, stores gotta compete. In the hood, that little store knows you're kinda stuck. Same product, different area, different price. Why? Because government money changes how businesses act. Now flip that same logic to healthcare. When you go to the hospital or urgent care, are you paying them directly out of pocket, or is it insurance, Medicaid, Medicare, Obamacare plan, all that? For most people, you pay a little copay. Maybe you see a bill months later, but the big check is coming from insurance companies, government programs funded by taxes. So the hospital starts thinking, the patient isn't really my main customer. The government and insurers are my customer. They're the ones cutting the big checks. That's how you end up with $50 Band-Aids, $100 Tylenol, $1,500 plus for sitting in the ER for some tests. It sounds crazy until you realize you're not negotiating those prices. You're not shopping hospitals like you shop sneakers. You're just hoping insurance covers it. And again, when you're not directly paying, the system stops caring about what makes sense for you and starts focusing on what they can squeeze out of whoever's paying. A lot of times, that's the government. Now let's talk about college, where they really cook people. Back in the day, college was cheaper. Not free, but nowhere near what it is now. Then the government stepped in heavy with federal student loans, grants, subsidies. On paper, that sounds like a blessing. We're helping more people get educated, but it changed the game. Instead of a student saying, I got $5,000 cash, I need a school I can afford, they start saying, what's the price? Cool, I'll just borrow it. The government will loan it to me. So now the college knows the money is almost guaranteed. The government is backing it. Students aren't negotiating, they're signing. What do schools do? Raise tuition, add fees, build fancy buildings in lazy rivers, hire layers of admin, because they know you're not asking, can I afford this? You're asking, will financial aid and loans cover this? They get paid up front. You get the debt for 10 to 20 years. Let's plug in the politics, because this is where people either get emotional or straight up lied to. On healthcare, Obamacare, the ACA, made the government and insurers even more central to the system. It did expand coverage for a lot of people, especially low income and folks with pre-existing conditions. But it also locked us into a game where big insurers and hospital systems know federal money and regulations are the main drivers, not the individual patient. Trump and Republicans have been on the repeal and replace wave for years. Some of their ideas: more health savings accounts, more choice across state lines, less federal control. Are those plans perfect? No. Did they always protect people with pre-existing conditions as strongly as ACA? No. A lot of independent analysts say the protections would be weaker. But here's the real point. One side, Democrats, says government has to be in the middle of everything to protect you. The other side, Trump and many Republicans, says the government being in the middle is why costs blew up in the first place. You don't have to worship Trump to understand what he's trying to do in his lane. Shrink the government's role, push more direct pricing, and force hospitals and insurers to deal more honestly with people instead of just milking federal rules. You can agree or disagree with how he's doing it, but that's the philosophy. Less middleman government money, more pressure on companies to stop playing games with prices. Now let's talk about this new hot topic. Trump's bill reclassifying some degrees, especially nurses, and capping loans. A lot of people online are screaming, Trump hates nurses. They're attacking healthcare workers. They're trying to stop people from getting educated. Here's what's actually going on based on the reports. The Trump administration's One Big Beautiful Bill redefines what counts as a professional degree for federal loans. Degrees like nursing, physical therapy, physician assistants lose that professional status for loan purposes. That means lower federal loan caps for those students. For example, about $20,500 a year and $100,000 total instead of being able to borrow up to the full cost of attendance. Nursing associations and health organizations are mad, and they've got real concerns. They say this could make it harder for low-income students to become nurses or get advanced nursing degrees. They say it might make the nursing shortage even worse. That's one side. Now here's what the Trump side is saying. They argue colleges have been abusing unlimited federal loans for years, especially in grad and professional programs. Instead of the school keeping tuition reasonable, they just say, oh, you can borrow more? Cool, we'll charge more. The administration claims that capping loans will pressure universities to stop price gouging and lower tuition, especially in programs that aren't like med school or law school. So is this them attacking nurses? That's the headline a lot of people are running with. The deeper explanation is they're trying to cut off the blank check that schools have been cashing using federal loan, even if that means some programs feel the squeeze in the short term. You can think that's the wrong move for nurses. That's a fair position. But calling it Trump hates nurses is a lazy lie. The real fight is over this same pattern we've been talking about. When the government gives schools unlimited access to loan money, schools raise prices. Students end up in debt, and nobody on the inside has a reason to stop. Trump's approach is basically, if we stop giving schools unlimited federal loan money, they'll be forced to bring prices back down to earth. Will that work perfectly? Nobody knows yet. Could it backfire and hurt students if schools don't cut prices? Yep, that's the big risk critics are screaming about. But don't let people lie to you like the goal is just ruin nurses' lives for fun. The real goal, whether you agree with it or not, is to break the cycle where schools can endlessly overcharge because the government is always there with another loan. So let me put the whole thing in one picture. In the hood, EBT money lets stores raise prices because they know the government card will swipe. In healthcare, Obamacare and other programs made the government and big insurers the real customer, so hospitals focus on billing codes and reimbursements more than actual people. In college, unlimited federal loans let schools keep raising tuition because the government keeps fronting the money and you hold the debt. Trump and Republicans, for better or worse, are now trying to slam the brakes on some of that government money and say, no more blank checks. Make these schools and systems feel it too. You can argue about whether they're cutting it in the right places or the wrong places. You can say they're not doing enough for protections or that they're going too far. But understand the game. When the government becomes the main customer, regular people stop being the priority, and prices quietly go through the roof. Free money from the government usually just means higher prices in the hood, crazy medical bills, stupid student loan balances. And now, finally, somebody's trying to mess with that pipeline, for good or bad. Don't let either side lie to you about what's happening. Look at the incentives, look at the money, and follow that. So what do we do with this information? First, stop letting people talk to you like you're dumb when you notice this stuff. You're not crazy for asking. Why is everything more expensive where I live? Why does the hospital bill look like a phone number? Why did college tuition go to the moon as soon as loans and aid exploded? Second, when you hear people screaming, Trump hates nurses, or Democrats are saints, understand, both sides are spinning the story. The truth is in the policies and the price tags, not the headlines. If you rock with how I broke this down, do me a favor. Hit that like button so more people see this. Subscribe to the channel, Oouchie and Friends Podcast. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next time we break down how this system really works. Drop a comment and tell me, are you seeing higher prices in your hood stores? Have you gotten a crazy medical bill or student loan statement? What do you think about Trump's idea of cutting back government money to force prices down? I'm reading everything. It's your boy Oouchie, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Stay smart, stay safe, and watch who's really getting paid.
Footprint big on the groove, King Kong. All this fashion, how I match it. Put on ones now, watch me shoom, shoom. Put on ones now, watch me shoom, shoom. Cool head, warm glow. Mission complete.